Have you ever felt that primal shiver down your spine? That cold dread that whispers from the darkest corners of your mind? What is it about monsters that fascinates and terrifies us in equal measure? From the ancient myths of griffins and hydras to the modern nightmares crawling across our screens, monsters are a timeless obsession. They are the ultimate other, the embodiment of everything we fear and don't understand. But are they just scary stories we tell in the dark, or do they reveal something much deeper about ourselves? Let's start with the classics. Think of Dracula, the seductive, aristocratic vampire who represents a fear of the unknown outsider, a corruption of the familiar. He's not just a creature with fangs. He's a symbol of decaying nobility and forbidden desires that threaten the strict morals of Victorian society. Then there's Frankenstein's creation, often mistakenly called Frankenstein himself. He's a tragic figure, a walking, talking existential crisis. Is he the monster, or is his creator, Victor Frankenstein, the true villain for playing God and then abandoning his creation? This story forces us to ask uncomfortable questions about responsibility, prejudice, and what it truly means to be human. These early monsters set the stage. They weren't just about jump scares. They were about social commentary. They were mirrors reflecting the anxieties of their time. Fast forward to the Cold War era, and what do we see? A boom in giant monster movies, or kaiju, especially in Japan. Godzilla, a creature born from nuclear radiation, wasn't just a giant lizard stomping through Tokyo. He was the living, breathing embodiment of nuclear anxiety, a terrifying symbol of humanity's self-destructive power. Similarly, in America, movies like Them featured giant ants mutated by atomic testing, tapping into the widespread fear of nuclear fallout and its unseen consequences. The monster became a metaphor for the Cold War itself, an unstoppable destructive force created by our own hands. As society evolved, so did our monsters. The 1970s and 80s brought us a new breed of terror, the slasher. Figures like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees were human, yet they were relentless, almost supernatural killing machines. They weren't born of radiation or ancient curses. They were the monster next door, the darkness lurking within our own communities. This shift reflected a growing cynicism and a fear that the true monsters weren't out there, but were, in fact, us. Then came the age of body horror, championed by directors like David Cronenberg. Think of The Fly, where a scientist slowly and disgustingly transforms into an insect. This wasn't just about being scared of a bug. It was about the terrifying loss of self, the betrayal of one's own body. It tapped into our deepest fears about disease, aging, and the fragility of our physical forms. The monster was no longer just an external threat. It was an internal one, a biological rebellion from within. And of course, we can't talk about monster horror without mentioning the cosmic horror of H.P. Lovecraft. His creatures, like Cthulhu, are so vast, so ancient, and so beyond our comprehension that even looking at them can drive a person insane. Lovecraftian horror isn't about fighting a monster you can defeat. It's about the terrifying realization of our own insignificance in a vast, uncaring universe. The horror comes from the knowledge that we are just specks of dust, and there are things in the cosmos that could snuff us out without even noticing. It's a profound existential dread that stays with you long after the story ends. So why do we keep coming back for more? Why do we pay to be scared by these creatures? On one level, it's a safe way to confront our fears. In a controlled environment, we can experience the thrill of terror without any real danger. It's a roller coaster for our emotions. The monster is defeated, the hero survives, and we can turn off the TV and sleep safely in our beds. It's cathartic. But there's another, more interesting layer. Monsters often represent the parts of ourselves that we suppress or deny. They can be metaphors for our rage, our grief, our sexuality, or our ambition. Guillermo del Toro, a master of modern monster stories, often portrays his creatures as sympathetic, misunderstood beings. In The Shape of Water, the true monster isn't the aquatic creature, but the cruel, prejudiced government agent who hunts him. Del Toro reminds us that monstrosity is often a matter of perspective. We project our own fears and hatreds onto the other, whether it's a creature from a black lagoon or a person who is different from us. This is where monster horror becomes truly powerful. It challenges our definitions of normal and monstrous. It forces us to look at the creature and see a reflection, not of a demon, but of a part of humanity. When we feel for King Kong, a giant ape captured and put on display, we're not just feeling for an animal. We're questioning our own species' capacity for cruelty and exploitation. Even in today's horror, we see these themes evolving. Modern films like A Quiet Place or Bird Box feature monsters that force us to reevaluate our senses and our very way of life. The creatures are catalysts that strip away the noise of modern society and force the characters to focus on the essentials: family, communication, and survival. The monster isn't just something to be killed. It's a force of nature that changes the world and the people in it. From ancient dragons to alien xenomorphs, from lumbering zombies to incomprehensible cosmic entities, monsters have always been with us. They are the symptoms of our cultural anxieties, the scapegoats for our societal fears, and the dark mirrors in which we see our own hidden natures. They change their shape to fit the fears of the age, but their purpose remains the same: to challenge us, to scare us, and ultimately, to help us understand what it means to be human. So the next time you watch a monster movie and feel that shiver down your spine, ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? The answer might be more surprising and more human than you think. Thanks for exploring the dark and wonderful world of monsters with me. What's your favorite movie monster and why? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.